Well, I said I wasn't going to do unboxings anymore because I was kind of not excited to do them, but there are still a few boxes that on the down low I'm still getting, and I love the contents of them. So I figured, why not share them with you? Hey friends, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Becca, and in today's video, we're going to look at, I think, the July, but it might be June, I don't know, 2023 contents of the Common Thread subscription box. Now, I want to let you know this is not a box that I paid for, and it's actually not one that the quilt shop is sending to me for free. This is one that a subscriber paid for and sent to me. And because of that, I feel obligated to share with you what's inside. One of you, and you know who you are, paid for this subscription. So thank you for that. And without any further ado, let's just dive into the contents. I use my little box cutter, if I can get the blade out, to cut the tape on this. I think this is probably actually an X-Acto knife, but it gets the job done. This is the inside of the box. We have a piece of paper, some blue tissue paper, and ooh, lots of red, white, and blue. It looks like this is the July 2023 box according to the paper inside. So mystery solved. Let's see what we have. Do you guys see the cute little star that they put on here? That's nice. This is your sneak peek of the inside of the box. We've got some red, white, and blue confetti and all sorts of red, white, and blue goodies. I'm going to pull everything out and we'll show you all of the items one at a time. The first thing in our box is a sewing notion that I think applies to all sorts of artisans, quilters included. It is a pocket color wheel, and it says on the piece of paper that this is great for providing a simple visual aid for illustrating the color relationships. And the way it works is you have your color over here, and then the contrasting color is directly opposite. So yellow, the contrasting color is violet. I saw Karen Brown do a video, I'll link it in the show notes down below, years ago, about how powerful a color wheel is in really understanding color theory. And the one that she recommended is much more robust than this, though I do have this one as well. I have the one that she recommended too. The reason why I bring all of it up is because she has a game that she plays, and she recommended you do as well. Basically, you take the color wheel and you use it to assess the colors of the fabric in your room, because sometimes you might look at a fabric and to your naked eye, it may read green, but when you hold it up next to the color wheel, it's actually sometimes a little bit more blue. This is a great way to understand some of the undertones and other things that are in your fabric. And I won't get into all the detail because I am not an expert on this, but I highly recommend you check out her video down below. This little hand of goodies are not listed on the paper, but we do have 3 little starburst mints, and they are red and white, so that meets the red, white, and blue theme this month. And I love a good peppermint, so yum. I've only gotten this project box for a couple of months, so I don't really know all of their history, but from what I've seen so far, the box seems focused on helping you to curate what you need to make a larger sized project. And that's evidenced with this month's pattern. Our pattern will make a quilt that will measure 64 inches by 80 inches. It is made in the USA by Laundry Basket Quilts, and the paper from Common Thread says that this made in the USA pattern is a delightful American flag pattern that is perfect for showing your patriotic side. You will need 8 fat quarters of red, 7 fat quarters of a light, and then 8 fat eighths of a blue, and then some sashing, border, binding, and backing. Altogether, your quilt, as it mentions here, will measure 64 inches by 80 inches. I've actually never followed any of Edita Sitar's patterns before, so I don't know what they look like. But these seem pretty easy to read. The font is nice. It's a comfortable size. There are illustrations in here. They're not full color, but you don't really need them. And she's even given you some cutting diagrams to make sure that you get the most use out of your fabric. Before I show you the beautiful fabrics that they have curated for us, I want to show you this spool of thread. And I'm really excited about this because I've gotten a lot of boxes over the past several years. And I think this is the first time I have ever gotten a spool of glide thread. Take a look at this. This is a spool of 40 weight glide thread in red. That color is just absolutely amazing, and it's going to coordinate so nicely with the fabric that they have picked for us. Now, this spool is big enough to do all of the quilting for your project and probably even the piecing as well. It is a 40 weight, so it's probably meant to be used for your quilting, but in a pinch, you could use it for your piecing as well. Just know that any time your thread weight gets smaller, so when those numbers get smaller, the thread strands get thicker, which means it's going to take up extra room in your seam allowance. So if you're piecing with a 40 weight, when you normally piece with a 50 weight, guess what? Your 1/4 inch is going to be a little off. You're going to have to sew with a more narrow seam allowance to make sure that you're getting the correct seam allowance. Okay, it's time to look at the fabric. Look at this gorgeous bundle. Oh my goodness. Let's just go to the overhead and I'll show you every fabric one at a time. This is a 16-piece fat quarter bundle that retails for $28.69 according to the price tag right here. There are 8 red fat quarters and 8 blue fat eighths that you will use to make this month's pattern. You will just need your background color or make another patriotic project using these lovely fabrics. So these are my 8 reds. There is a grunge in here. There's a couple other blenders. This is Spotted by Zen Chic for Moda. So these are really nice, high quality quilt shop cottons. And then the fat eights that we have are these. So you have a really scrappy but coordinated look for your project when it's all put together. They've done a great job pulling fabrics that are going to play nicely. 8 fat quarters, 8 fat eighths. When I look at this pattern, it says that you're going to need the 8 fat quarters of your red, 8 fat eighths of your blue, and then 7 fat quarters of your light, and then another 2 1/4 yards of that same light for your borders and sashing. When I take a look at the pattern, it says you're going to need 7 fat quarters of a light. And you're going to see that come to play in the stripes in the flag. If you look closely, the stripes in between those red stripes are a low volume that coordinate nicely with the sashing and the border, but it's not the same fabric as the sashing and the border. That allows the stripes to kind of stand out from the background, if you will, but you could certainly use the same fabric that you have for your sashing and borders to put this together. So if you have some solid that'll work well for this, you could just grab 2 1/4 yards for your sashing and border, and then another 2 yards or so for your low volume stripes in the flag. Oh my goodness, I just counted the number of flags on here and I just found the perfect idea for this quilt project. I'm going on retreat in a couple of weeks, and the ladies that I'm going on retreat with, there's about 14 of us or so, want to put together a quilt of valor. Each of us want to make one block and put it together. And guess what? This pattern has 15 flags on it. So all of us could make one, and maybe one of us has to make 2 or 3, but all of us could make one, and then we can sew it together, get it quilted up, and donate it. I'm really excited about that. So I think what I'm going to do for this project is keep all the blues, all the reds in the pattern together. I'll grab some low volume that we can work with, and we'll knock this out in Alabama. So you'll want to make sure you tune in at the end of the month to see what this quilt top looks like when it's all put together. I am looking at the pattern. This looks like it would be a relatively easy sew. So if you're a beginner and you want to try your hand at it, this might be a project to try. Thank you for diving into the contents of this box with me. I am really excited to make this. For that subscriber out there that is paying for this subscription, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!